Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Lark here from Wellington. Today we're going to be talking about our weekly Bitcoin news roundup, covering all the hottest stories from all around the world. Before we get into that, a quick shout out to everyone who has been hitting that like button, and of course everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. That's to the new subscribers, to the old subscribers. I love all you guys. I love the crypto community out here. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. And of course you can always join me over on steemit.com or Patreon as well. And of course, guys, this is not professional financial advice, just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies. Let's get into it. Bitcoin, $6,148.03, up a bit on the hour. Now, this is slightly under the new all-time high, which came in just shy of $6,300. CoinMarketCap has it at about $6,250, but nevertheless, the road to $7,000 is wide open, guys. Market cap above $100 billion will be a new norm, although expect some choppy waters on the road to and post the next chain split. Now, happy birthday, Bitcoin! Bitcoin turns 9 years old today. You little boy. Keep on going, Bitcoin. Be special. Be you. Now, it was 9 years ago today that the infamous Satoshi Nakamoto presented his peer-to-peer digital exchange white paper, which became known as the Bitcoin. Good work, Satoshi, and happy birthday to you, Bitcoin. $154 million hedge fund stakes 30% of their assets in Bitcoin. Now, overall, this company represents billions of dollars in assets. However, the hedge fund that they're running has been very successful and posted a 72.5% year-to-date gain. They should have invested more in Bitcoin. Only 72%? Ha! Ha ha ha. Another hedge fund manager came out and said, let's keep an eye out for the $400,000 Bitcoin. Now, to put that in perspective, to get a $400,000 Bitcoin, currently $6,000 at $100 billion market cap. $1 trillion market cap would give us approximately a $60,000 Bitcoin. To get to $400,000, well, we got to go up a little bit. Maybe about a $7.5 trillion market cap. That's a lot. I'm not saying Bitcoin's not going to do that, but that's a lot. That's a lot. It's going to be really interesting to see how these next few years play out. If we can see a 7 times growth this year, wowzers. Wowzers, really may be on track for this. So, pretty exciting predictions. Of course, just a prediction at the end of the day. Bitcoin mania in America has students flocking to crypto classes at Stanford and other top computer science schools like Carnegie Mellon, for example. Not surprising, the young generation, they know what Bitcoin is. The old generation, they know what Bitcoin is. Everybody knows what Bitcoin is, except these guys have the ability to go to school and study this stuff, to study blockchain technology, to study, you know, the hash graph and the tangle and all these peer-to-peer systems and decentralized governance. And thank God schools are starting to finally offer classes in this. Now, this is not unique to America. This is not unique to Stanford and Carnegie Mellon. Other universities around the world are offering this. Moscow, for example, there's about 5 universities that are going to start offering this. I just saw another article today that in Vladivostok, they're doing some blockchain courses as well. It's coming. It's going to be a very standard thing. And obviously, people see this is the evolution of money, of governance, of everything. So I'm not surprised. USA undercover operation ends in arrest for selling Bitcoin without a license. This guy was selling his Bitcoin on local Bitcoins. Undercover cops came in. Busted. This is ridiculous. Is America really spending money on this? You gotta be kidding me. There's real crime going on in America. There's real stuff happening. And this is what they spend their time doing. That's crazy. Anyway, I feel sorry for that guy. Over in Arkansas, Sheriff's Office mines Bitcoin to fuel dark web investigations. Curious. It's a funny way to go about it. course, people in the local constituency are saying, what are you guys doing? You're going to be wasting all this energy mining Bitcoin? They're like, yeah, we know. We're mining Bitcoin on the tax dollar here. Now, look, they said they, want to be able to try and track child pornography or something like this. But this just sounds like one of those things like, oh, yeah, we're going to mine Bitcoin to catch criminals. Right. All right. Makes about as much sense as watching porn to try to stop porn. Anyway, good on you, Arkansas Sheriff's Office. Mine that Bitcoin, guys. Mine that Bitcoin. Just be up front about it. You want to get that Bitcoin, guys. Everybody wants to get that Bitcoin. Ron Paul gave the best advice ever to the U.S. government. Stay out of Bitcoin. Stay out of Bitcoin. Keep it classy, Ron Paul. Keep it classy. Love those libertarian ideals. Over in Argentina, crippling economic problems accelerate Bitcoin's adoption in Argentina. This and other articles talk about how in Argentina, as the Argentine peso goes down, and Bitcoin goes up, Argentine businesses are increasingly accepting Bitcoin. Argentina now has an incredibly high percentage of Argentines who own Bitcoin. Businesses are accepting Bitcoin, especially restaurants, tourism-related businesses. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? You accept your own money and it goes to nothing. You accept Bitcoin and it goes up. And of course, this is a great way for Argentine companies to circumvent the very strict currency controls that Argentina has about exchanging pesos into dollars, for example. So I'm glad to see that Bitcoin is doing its part to help give people economic freedom all around the world. And of course, the guys in Argentina also do not like SegWit2X. Of course, they can join the party. They have sent an open letter in opposition to Medium.com saying, we don't support this. That is on the back of another letter from a South Korean group of Bitcoin enthusiasts who also do not support that. Now, this was an interesting article as well. With one recession, Bitcoin could completely revolutionize Europe. Now, just because Argentina is struggling more than many countries in Europe doesn't mean that it's a unique case. Greece has had a very rocky few years. Spain and Portugal have recently implemented cash capital controls. You can't spend more than 3,000 euros, I believe it is now, in Spain, or you'll get fined. You can't buy something in cash anymore, not for more than 3,000 euros. That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Bitcoin could offer the solution. And of course, if we see a European Union-wide recession, or at least a recession that really affects the southern countries again, Bitcoin will be there waiting for you guys. Is China planning to resume Bitcoin and cryptocurrency trading soon? Well, the rumor mill on the internet certainly likes to think so, or at least there's a lot of rumor going around that is pointing in that direction. The gossip is there, guys. Will it happen? It'll happen when it happens. I think that's the best answer to give. No one can predict specifically when China's going to come out. Obviously, this Communist Party Congress has recently finished. A lot of people thought, okay, that's it. They're going to come out. They're going to say, okay, let's do it. Bitcoin, back on, guys. They might have to wait a little bit longer than that, to make it not seem so obvious if that was one of the things they decided. Or they may simply still be putting together that basket of regulations that they're looking to bring in. So it'll happen when it happens, guys. And it'll be exciting when it does. Oh, it'll be exciting when it does. Over in Indonesia, Indonesian central bank has banned Bitcoin as a payment method. So you can no longer pay for things in Indonesia using Bitcoin. I remember I was doing some research about restaurants in Bali, for example, where you pay with Bitcoin. A lot of places in Bali where you can pay with Bitcoin, but not anymore. Not anymore. At least not officially. Probably do it on the down low. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. It's a backward step for Indonesia. Now, Indonesia's got a huge user base of people who are interested in cryptocurrencies. It is a very tech-savvy population, a very connected population. It's the wrong step. And again, who does it come from? the central bank. Always the ones pushing the wrong ideas, worried to lose power, of course. Over in Vietnam, Bitcoin has been banned as a payment method as well. $9,000 penalty if you pay for something using Bitcoin. Now, a certain amount of speculation that I see here is that this may be due to pressure from China. China wields massive economic, political influence in the region. They might have come to Vietnam today. You gotta chill out on that Bitcoin stuff. We got a lot of Chinese investors here. They're trying to get around the system and get themselves some Bitcoin. Could have said the same thing to Indonesia. They could have said the same thing to Malaysia. They could have said the same thing to banks in Singapore that have been cutting off cryptocurrency related companies. That's just speculation, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's the exact kind of thing that you do when you have the kind of political and economic power that China does have. Now, you've probably heard a lot about 2x and no 2x. This is the next debate that we need to have as a community moving forward with Bitcoin. There's a lot of arguments for, there's a lot of arguments against. I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of the details with you here at the moment, but I did want to point out here, there's a really great article on this in bitcoinmagazine.com. I'll put a link in it down below in the description. You can come check that out if you want. It really, really lays out all the arguments for why it should and shouldn't happen. So it's really worth reading if you haven't seen enough YouTube videos about it yet. Something to come and check out, guys. Something to come and check out. GB miners have said that they haven't pulled out of the SegWit2x agreement. Now, the other day, Charlie Lee came out on Twitter and said, GB miners are out. They've stopped signaling for SegWit2x. They came out, of course, a day or two later and said, no, Charlie, we were actually just running some tests. We stopped signaling temporarily, but actually we're still signaling for SegWit2x. If you are interested in what exchanges will be supporting or not supporting B2X, well, the lists are slowly coming in. Bitfinex, again, announcing early. That being said, a lot of exchanges haven't announced yet, and they will probably wait until the 11th hour to do so. They want to wait to see what the community feels. They want to hedge their bets basically as much as possible. Bitfinex, of course, did very well with Bitcoin Gold, having got a gigantic amount of business on the day of Bitcoin Gold, making themselves a tidy little bit of coin in the trading of Bitcoin Gold on Bitfinex. Now Bitfinex is going to be calling it B2X. BitMEX came out and said, no, we will not list SegWit2x chain at all. Bitstamp, no comment. GDAX, of course, representing Coinbase here, saying, let's let the hash power decide, which is, a very middle of the road approach to take. It's incredibly political, guys. So many bitterly opposed people on either side of the fence here, people that have tried to come to agreement for years and can't. And they're, tearing the Bitcoin community apart to a large extent. I feel like at the moment, no 2x has a bigger user support, but I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. The story is just starting. We still have a few weeks until this chain split happens, and a lot of drama, I'm sure, will ensue on the way towards this happening. Drama just like this, where Bitcoin.com said they were going to name and shame companies who support SegWit2x. Companies like Coinbase, Shapeshift, Zappo, BitPay. In fact, it was so intimidating for some companies like the Chilean Bitcoin exchange SurBTC backed out and said, okay, we don't want to be part of that list of people being shamed by you on bitcoin.org. Sorry, bitcoin.org. So it's getting political, guys. It's getting nasty. The gloves are coming off, and we got a lot lot more action to go before this is actually finished. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Lots more news to come. And of course, part of the argument is that SegWit Bitcoin will not be able to scale, whereas the guys over at Bitcoin Core are already working on new scaling upgrades, thus making the SegWit 2x push less relevant and potentially seeming even more like a push by the big power players to take control, as some say about SegWit 2x. So interesting story. We'll watch for developments. Absolutely. Over in Ukraine, new bill treats Bitcoin as financial asset and encourages mining. Fantastic. We did report that they were going to be doing this. It has come out now. The legal framework is being put in, submitted to Parliament. Of course, a certain extent of this is simply being the opposite of Russia, but nevertheless, I love Ukraine, and I think that this is absolutely awesome for them. I hope that they will full on go with Bitcoin and just dive right in, guys. That would be great to see. Over in Venezuela, people are getting arrested for Bitcoin mining still. We reported on these stories in the past. I saw that Bolivia is still doing it. I saw a news story about that the other day. Venezuela, people are being charged with energy theft. Police are extorting bribes out of people that they know are mining Bitcoin. And again, Bitcoin is the solution, not the problem here. The Venezuelan government is the problem. They are the ones who have destroyed the economy through their incompetent policies. People are just trying to feed their families and escape the financial realities of a failed system. And yet they get arrested for it. So these people are brave. You have to be brave in Venezuela to mine Bitcoin. Here in New Zealand, you don't have to be so brave to mine Bitcoin. But my hat off to all the Venezuelans who risk arrest to mine Bitcoin. That's how much people are into Bitcoin, guys. If you have any doubt about the future of Bitcoin, remember, people are getting arrested for mining Bitcoin out there somewhere. So keep it in mind. If you ever worry about mass adoption in the future of Bitcoin, it's going up. Samsung's mining rig lets you mine cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, of course, on old Galaxy smartphones. Now this is more of a show than anything. They got a lot of criticism about what happens to old phones. It produces a lot of e-waste. And so they said, no, look at all the different things you can do with it. We're going to build a Bitcoin mining rig. And also a fish tank monitor, for example. So more show than substance, but not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. Over in Japan, we've talked about the company GMO before. They're the ones who are going to break apart mining next year. We're going to go from the 16 nanometer chip to the 7 nanometer Bitcoin mining chip. And of course, what better way to sell your 7 nanometer Bitcoin mining chips than to have an ICO? Of course, it's so hot right now having ICOs, guys. It's crazy. I'm not surprised. We got to really watch out for the developments moving forward in the mining space. This is going to really shake things up at the start of next year when these 7 nanometer chips hit. So keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on it. Bitcoin mining boom prompts the growth of coin mining malware. Now we've all heard that the Pirate Bay has been mining Monero on people's computers. Sneaky, sneaky. Not surprising though. The guys over at Google, for example, are really running to try to catch up with this, to try to stop it, because obviously you'll burn people's computers out. Not to mention the fact that it's crazy. It's crazy. It's very sneaky, but these things are popping up left, right, and center. It's like some multi-headed hydra. You cut one off, 5 more pop up. So this will be a thing moving forward. We will see a lot of coin mining malware coming to the space until they stop it, which I'm sure will happen at one point. And finally, in Bitcoin news, our old friends over at Genesis Mining, finally the pre-sales are gonna be activated. They're of course activating today on the 31st. Payout coming on the 1st of November for those contracts. Still no word as to when new Bitcoin mining contracts will be out. Rumor has it that it will be slightly after the fork. Wouldn't be surprised about that. If I was Genesis Mining, I would probably mine the heck out of Bitcoin, get the fork coins, and then sell the contracts. It would make the most sense from a financial perspective, but we'll see. Maybe they'll come out a bit earlier than that too. I hope. I'm waiting for them. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Bitcoin news video. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time, guys.